the early version too, but this has taken it a step further. So
yeah, it's exceeded all of our expectations.
the a lot of the things that people will also like about this is, like James mentioned, a lot of the parts are carrying over. The mechanical parts are carrying over from the original 230. So if you have that platform and you'd like to, pick up some of the new parts, the new flight controller ESC, if you get that combo and add it to an old 230, that's going to be available also. One of the big things you'll notice is the scheme on this. So the scheme is a lot brighter. The original 230 had a green canopy and white blades, and now we went with a bright orange canopy, a bright set of main blades, tail blades, and an orange tail fin. So being able to key on this and see it in the air and retain that orientation is a lot easier now. And really on a blue sky background, it pops, it really shines.
Yeah, it does really well. Even in the tail rotor now, the one thing we've done as well is really beefed up and changed the plastic on the design. So this new orange one works extremely well. There's nothing wrong with the original 230, but we really wanted to give some pretty big improvements that we were able to do in the design.
Yep. So same Metal Gear servos. Those on a heli this size, those are really great, very, very durable. And another durability improvement that we made is we beefed up the main gear. So we actually added 1 millimeter of thickness to the main gear. I'll pop this off here and see if we can see it. You're not going to be able to see 1 millimeter on the camera, but this main gear here is a lot thicker.
It's substantial all the way through in the webbing, in the tooth profile shape. And 1 millimeter is roughly, I think it was about 25%.
Yep.
So on a tooth profile shape, the amount of surface area now that the pinion can grab is a lot better and improves the durability. I mean, that's one of the main things that went in a crash, especially if you weren't quick on throttle hold.
Yep. Yeah, so that's really good for those guys, especially the new pilots or the intermediate pilots that are trying to kind of push the limits a little bit. You're gonna crash. Everybody that's trying to learn 3D or kind of step up and do something that's out of their comfort zone is going to end up crashing, and having that to be more durable is really good. Within the flight controller, we did keep the safe flight mode, so this still will have the self-leveling mode, right? And then the next mode up removes self-leveling, but it has kind of more docile flip and roll rates, correct?
Yeah, it's basically kind of like a safe, a low AS3X and then a high AS3X mode. Yep. So it kind of, going from safe originally to an agility or, rate mode, it was a pretty big step. So it's kind of got a little bit of a buffer gap in there for the rates and everything.
And if you ever get into a kind of odd orientation or you lose orientation or get to a point where you're trying to make a maneuver and flip or roll and you're uncomfortable with it, it has panic recovery on it. So you just hit the button and it'll return the heli, say you're upside down, it'll return it back to a level orientation as you hold it, and then when you let it go, it'll return you to the flight mode that you're in. So that's really nice for a lot of people. I know a lot of people that have thanked me personally at trade shows saying, hey, that panic recovery and learning to fly helis really went a long way in me advancing, because it really does. It adds that level of kind of confidence in pushing collective pitch and what you can do with 3D.
Yeah, and the other thing is, you don't have to go buy a big, expensive helicopter really, with a carbon fiber frame and everything to learn. It's a good stopgap coming from, a fixed pitch or even a, collective pitch indoor helicopter. A lot of people have flown collective pitch indoors on the ultra micro stuff, but as soon as they get outside, bigger machine, a little bit more intimidating. So, it's a good stopgap for that.
Yeah, and that's what's nice about something like this too, is when we're talking about crashing and in learning, it being a direct drive tail motor, it really keeps the part count really low on this. So even if you do crash, there's very few things that you would ever have to repair or replace, and it's relatively simple with the the composite frame and everything.
Yep. Yeah, replace no belt or torque tube or anything like that to worry about. Just run the wires down the boom and away you go.
Exactly. The battery is the same as the original 230. It's a 3S 800, correct?
Yeah, it's a 3S 800. Uses a JST connector, same one from the original one. We have 1,000 milliamp as well, so people want a little bit more flight time. But this thing flies a long time, so I just run the 800.
So I know what a lot of people are going to be wondering is price on this. So we are releasing this with two variants, the same way we did the original 230. It'll come as a ready-to-fly variant and a bind-and-fly basic.
Basic now.
Bind-and-fly basic.
Yep.
So the Ready to Fly is $299.99, and the Bind and Fly Basic is
$215.
$215.
Yep.
So the Ready to Fly will come with what you see here, the DXE radio. It'll come with an AC/DC charger for the 3S battery, and obviously the heli. So it'll really get you in the air, and it's not going to be one of those cheaper transmitters that you may get with, other Ready to Fly. The DXE is really a fantastic radio. It feels good in your hand. It sits in your hand ergonomically like a larger radio. So you really get that resolution in the gimbals with it too, which makes a big difference.
Yeah, full-size transmitter. It gets you, you can take it, program it via the Spectrum programmer, take it over to an airplane if you want. You can use it all kind of around if you need to.
Yep. Let's see. I don't know if we have any questions here. I'm going to check Facebook. You got anything over there on YouTube?
Nope.
Yeah, so this release is really exciting for us because we want to release something and come out with a heli that is kind of building and improving on our current platforms. We don't want to obsolete the original one. It was a really good helicopter. We want to make sure we're improving on that, and I think that's really what we've done with the 230 SV2. So
Exactly.
I'm not seeing a whole lot of questions come through. We've pretty much covered it all. I don't know if we're forgetting anything.
Nope.
Kind of run through it head to toe.
It's a pretty simple refresh.
Yep.
Hitting on the main things that we thought needed to be improved while still maintaining backwards compatibility for all the users out there that have one.
Exactly. So go ahead and check it out at your local hobby shop. Ask for it there. You can see more information on this on horizonhobby.com. If you have any other questions, leave a comment on the video here or on YouTube. And I'm going to do my best after this to go back and answer any questions that you have. So thanks for joining us, and have a great day.